Alright, so if you remember back to my PowerBook 170 Adventures video, you'll know that I had, what was it, 3 170s and a 140, and I made one working machine out of the parts of all 4. What we're going to do today is make another, at least somewhat working machine out of the remaining pieces. Now, I can't have a totally working machine because I do not have another working floppy drive, which might also be a problem when I go to prepare what I'm about to do. We'll see. But so what I'm going to do is, this is the upper pan and display assembly from the 170 with the battery that exploded. You can see this mess here. This keyboard is probably trash. This trackball is probably trash. This is all trash, and this, I mean, it's usable, but, I mean, like, have a look at this. All of this damage. Now, this is a crappy tripod. Come on, zoom in. Look at all this nonsense. There's all this brown gunk all over the place. It looks really gross. Like, I mean, see if I can get this on camera. Just how bad this really is. I don't think it's going to focus on it, but it's pretty bad. So I'm going to take out the keyboard and the trackball, and I'm also going to remove the display, because the only thing I want out of this is the display. I probably could get away without removing the... Yeah, I probably could get away without removing the keyboard and all that, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because I'm going to be doing it anyway, and it certainly helps if you're using the correct Torx bit, which hopefully I actually know where it is. So we'll try this one. Okay, so what we have right here is a broken standoff. You can see I didn't take the screw out, and the keyboard flaps around, so that's busted. You will find those. Okay, so we removed all the keyboard screws except for the one that has a broken standoff. Now I'm going to get the trackball out. These are the same screws. I suppose it ultimately really doesn't matter. Like I said, some of them will probably be tight, and that's what usually breaks standoffs. So we're going to remove the trackball. As you can see there, looks to be mostly undamaged. Whether or not it works remains to be seen. Put that aside. I should be able to remove the keyboard now as well. Well, actually, I can remove the keyboard when I remove the connectors. I go to it, as you can see down there. But I also, actually no I don't, because it's already broken. There's a little black thing right back here. I think it's like a ferrite choke or something like that. It comes in 2 pieces. You want to take it off of the back of the machine and glue it back onto the new one. If you don't, well, and you end up splitting it apart, you can't get it back together. Been there, done that. Well, I suppose you probably could, but... Okay, I'm not entirely sure why the picture got dark like that, but we'll flip this back around. I'm going to shake it out again, just to get rid of some of the yuck. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a flat blade. Now, you shouldn't use a flat blade for this. You should be using like a plastic tool. Actually, I'm not even going to get a flat blade. But you should be using a plastic tool rather than a metal one to get these off. They may break, except that one I think is okay. You get the one in the middle, assuming that you can get the one in the middle. But we do want these to come out. And like I said, I want the one in the middle. Even that's damaged. Wow, even that's got corrosion all over it. Battery acid. It's always the last part that's difficult. I'm probably blocking the camera with my big arm too. I might have to get a little violent with it, as I just did. Still didn't break it, so I guess there's one thing, but there are 4 screws, and you can do this with it closed. Or not. Pull out 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the display should be nice and free for you to work with, if you can get the 4 screws out. Now, in retrospect, I should have not closed this. Even though I said I could probably do it with it closed, the realization has now set in that I gotta get this off of the actual machine. I really hope that cable is not damaged, because I have no desire to disassemble the display assembly on one of these. Lots of plastic clips that will likely break the instant you look at them the wrong way. These are actually a slightly bigger screw tip, as it turns out. So we'll set them somewhere safe. Get our hands covered in old battery acid in the process, which is probably not safe, but oh well. I do this crap so you don't have to. Alright. So let's see if we can get this display off. Having this oh, I forgot one key thing. Whoopsie. The inverter assembly. Can't believe I forgot that. You have to remove the I'll pull out the whole inverter assembly in order to do this. But you need to remove the cable going to the backlights. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I can't believe I missed that. I don't even know if this is going to come off. No, that standoff is busted. And if it wasn't, it certainly is now. And then, in theory, now I'm going to remove the this interconnect board as well, the interposer. There is our display, which is missing a beauty plug, but that's okay. I can add that back. This is a good display. I'm going to set it aside somewhere safe, so it's out of my way, and then we can work on this 140. Which has now got schmutz all over it. Not that I think it really matters, because we're not keeping the most of it anyway. Now, I don't think I've got screws holding this one together, because it was only going to be a parts machine until I decided, you know, hey, I've got all these pieces, I might as well make a whole machine. Oh, there's a screw in the back. Now, I'm not going to pull out the keyboard on this, because I shouldn't have to. It should be fine. So should the trackball, hopefully. I don't know whether they are or not, but I will pull out the interposer, just because I basically have to. And actually, I'm not even going to keep this, because I have now made another realization that this is for the passive matrix display, so we've got both a brightness and a contrast control. I need only a brightness control. So that could be interesting. So I'm going to see if I can remember where I put the inverter for the other machine. That's going to fall on the floor and probably break. So I'll have to go look for the other one. It'll show up when I'm done all this work, but this is what the inverter for an active matrix display looks like. Might be slightly different, so I'm going to change it. This little piece right here, I do need that. So somehow or another that is going to have to come out. I think how it works is it just kind of flips like this, and then you can pull it out. So I need that. Oh, which I'm going to break. That'll be the first thing I do, but the first thing I will do, I'm going to pull that out, pull these out, because again, they are of no use to me. Alright, I'm sorry, I couldn't show you that. I had to get the camera out of the way. That was just getting really, really bad. It's just massively in the way. But anyway, so that's done. And this whole assembly should now be good to go. Now, there's one more thing that we need to address. And that is hard drive. Because this assembly has no hard drive in it. So, okay, apparently warnings when batteries are dying are a thing of the past. Somebody's throwing a party somewhere. You can hear the bass for miles around. Anyway, I bought some hard drives on eBay. I wanted to get a SCSI 2 SD board, but not only are they way more expensive than they need to be, like, I mean, let's get real, they're worth about $5. They're also out of stock, so you cannot buy the requisite board that you need for the PowerBook. So I went on eBay and I looked, and of course the supply of SCSI drives for these is starting to dry up because, you know, it's been 20 years since these, actually more than that now. 2020, this was manufactured in 92, about 28 years. Almost 30 years since this thing was manufactured. Almost 30 years since those drives were commonplace, you know. So they are extremely difficult to find now. So the only thing I was able to find were 240. Because these things are packaged really well. Not only did it show up in a priority mail envelope, there was an eBay basically padded envelope inside that. There was a box that was sealed like Fort Knox. There was bubble wrap taped on these, and these are sealed. There is no getting in these without cutting this. So we'll use our garden scissors to do this, if it will actually work. It might not. Because these are not really designed for this. Let's see. Try and get this open without dropping the drive itself. That would be excellent. This is what you get. 240 megabyte. That was the option. I'm not going to do like I did last time. I'm going to get this camera out of the way. And we'll install this drive. Make a mess out of absolutely everything around me because my life is a comedy. So that's installed. Plastic out of the way. There's more plastic. There are two little indentations for the drive to sit on, just like that, and then I can put this thing back into place. We'll find out where the adapter has gone off to. Take it, plug it into the back of this 140, 170. Here we go. Something's up. Okay. Alright, so we got a problem. Now we got a big problem. Okay, this camera's battery is probably going to die on me again too, but apparently the motherboard failed. I don't know exactly what that's all about, just that I can tell you right away. I put a 170 board in it, and now it's working, so I guess I have less of a PowerBook 140 and more of a PowerBook 170 now. I think this floppy drive is bad. Yeah, it's not reading that disk. So, and I have another disk tool disk. I didn't find it. assuming it's still where I put it, which it looks like it's not. I was surprised. People take it and move it over. There it is. I hate it when people do that. Try this disc tools desk. I don't think it's going to result in any difference. Yeah, the heads are not moving. That's the issue with it, the heads don't move. But I suppose at the very least, we now do have a working machine, which I believe this display, oh yeah, we got tunnel vision on this display. Oh, whatever, don't really care. It's the only other working display I've got, so. What you see is what you get. Brightness control works, just the way that it should. Alright, that's it for the video. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do about this.